Assalamu alaikum, Noor.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Welcome to Turkey.
Yeah, thank
I'm
you.
so happy that you came here.
Uh-huh.
She's now in Istanbul. We are filming in Istanbul this time.
Yeah, we are. And it's so freezing outside, you guys. I cannot explain to you how cold it is. It's
Yeah.
literally snowing.
You can see it from the thickness of our clothes,
Yeah,
actually. And
yeah.
we were thinking like maybe you guys are gonna get surprised because the last video that we like shared, it was in Malaysia, which was like 50 degrees outside. So it was like
Yeah, continue,
we were with
continue.
our like thin clothes. And the next video is like this, and probably the other one is gonna be in a hot place, which is probably Malaysia.
Uh-huh.
So don't get confused about this. Like
The
this
thing is, like,
our life.
remember when you said, when we said, like, in one of our videos, we said literally that, oh, it's December right now, and we don't
Yeah.
look like it's December, but because we guys are in Malaysia, it's February right now.
Yeah.
And we would look like
And
it's
we
February.
Give, yeah, we give the right of the February right now. I feel like I'm fulfilling my duty towards this month. So yeah, how was your winter experience here so far before we get to the topic?
It's so cold. Like, literally, I just miss my Mediterranean weather, and that's it at this point.
But you saw snow for the first time ever in your
Yeah,
life.
I saw snow.
Yeah.
That was like the purpose of the trip, and also to continue our podcast together because
Yeah.
we have been separated. And I saw snow for the first time
Yeah.
ever. It was so
She was
amazing.
freezing, but it's worth it at the end.
Yeah. It
was really
was a
nice.
nice experience, alhamdulillah. And now we are in Istanbul.
Yes, and we are gonna hang out a little bit.
Yeah, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm showing her Istanbul, to be honest.
True, because like
I'm
as a
the
local,
tourist.
I only go to the local places. I don't hang out in Istanbul because I'm traveling all the time. And she's like, "Oh, Beyza, have you seen here? Oh, Beyza, have you seen him?" I'm like, "No, not really." She's like, "Get me as your guide, and you'll be fine."
That's the rule. Like, everyone can confirm that have traveled, which
Yeah.
is in your city you are the local. You are the local that
yeah.
doesn't know anywhere,
Yeah.
and then the tourist is showing you
True,
around,
true,
basically.
true. Yeah.
So yeah.
But to hear more about Turkey, we actually made a whole episode about it, which is in podcast format,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so you'll be able to listen it on Spotify soon. It was like so fun. We enjoyed it so much because like you're gonna hear the local perspective of Turkey and a tourist perspective to
Not
it.
only
which
that,
was, like,
you
we
will
had-
see, you will hear Beyza getting offended many times and
Yeah.
getting triggered.
You will see my like Turkish blood there. You will get convinced that I'm Turkish actually.
I'm so surprised that we are still friends, and then she didn't
After
cut
that.
me off after that episode.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that episode. Inshallah, we'll publish it soon.
Yeah.
And
inshallah.
what is the topic of today's episode? What are we going to talk about?
So today's episode is like a special one
Yeah.
because as Ramadan is approaching, so it's gonna be something in the same vibe, which is we're going to talk about our experiences as a travelers
During Ramadan.
during Ramadan.
So we would like to talk about how our experience has been abroad. Because I'm from Turkey and I spent most of my Ramadans, my whole life in Istanbul. But I had some exceptional situations where I was abroad, basically. So I would like to talk about that. And for you as well, I think you have
Yeah.
been in Tunis most of the time.
Most of the time, like my Ramadan I have never spent Ramadan outside of Tunis until it happens one time while traveling and I spent Ramadan outside. So that's the thing, like the purpose is because for both of us, it's kind of a special experience that we had, which is spending Ramadan in other countries beside our countries. Not only that, actually, like the countries are non-Muslim countries. So we thought it's gonna be nice to share that as an experience.
True.
So I'm sure that because other people will feel related, because I'm sure that there is like a big community living or even traveling or even planning to travel this Ramadan to some countries, non-Muslim countries. So you can hear from us like the experience as usual, which is like the name of our podcast,
Hear it
right?
from us.
Hear it from us.
Yeah, true. Because it can look like Ramadan in a non-Muslim country is the worst thing ever. Like it wouldn't make any sense. It can look like this. And I was also afraid about how it would look like, but it turned out very different for me, honestly. So I have been to Germany
Is it like you spend one Ramadan in Germany, or you spend like multiple ones, or how is it?
Abroad.
Abroad, yeah.
Yeah, so I have spent one Ramadan in Jerusalem, which was one of the best ones actually. Another one in Umrah. I had Ramadan
That's
Umrah, and we're going to talk about this in detail, inshallah. What else? And I spent one in Germany. Yeah, so the unique one for me was the one in Germany because it's a non-Muslim country, and I was there as a student, so I was like staying there long term, and I had to be there during Ramadan as well. So I was nervous about like how it would look like because in Istanbul we have like Ramadan atmosphere in the city, which is so beautiful. So I was like, am I gonna miss it? How is it gonna be? But I was staying, while I was in Germany, I was staying in a Turkish mosque, which meant we had iftar every day in the mosque, and we had a dormitory, and upstairs was the masjid, women prayer area. So I was hearing Adhan every day. I was like doing iftar there basically with my own community. But I didn't want to get stuck with my like Turkish people alone. But the beauty about Germany is that there is like a huge Muslim community other than Turkish people as well. So there was like an African mosque, for example, which was close to my dormitory as well. There was a Bosnian mosque. Yeah, there was an Arab mosque. So time to time, some days we were going to those places to do iftar, which was like so special for me because I could feel the ummah there, you know. It's not only about my people.
Mashallah.
Yeah, it's not only about Turks, but it's like ummah is huge, you know, and like everyone is just so lovely to each other. We pray tarawih together, and I get to taste their food, you know, experience their culture at the same time, which was like a perfect opportunity for me in that really small town in Germany. Yeah, so like it was overall a good experience for me, I could say.
Do you think, was it like at some point did you felt that you missed perhaps like your family, or you missed your Turkish vibe or something like this, or wasn't really the case?
During 6 months in Germany, I missed.
No, I mean like
But
during Ramadan.
I didn't feel that honestly because I was surrounded by my people already, and we were doing iftars with my friends. So I think as soon as far as like you have your community there, you have your people around you, and your main focus is to get closer to Allah, but not to enjoy time. So you kind of shift your perspective to it, I would say, because I always say that like my Ramadan in Germany turned out to be one of my best Ramadans ever. Because, for example, I had a very close friend in my dormitory, so we were like kind of staying together, and she was waking me up for Fajr. We were going upstairs to pray in the masjid together. We were going to the African mosque for Fajr prayer, walking in cold together. And I'm like, if I was alone, you know, or even if I was in Turkey, I wouldn't be doing that. But it was so perfect, you know. So like, because it's coming with these details, which are beautifying my Ramadan. Yeah, I think it definitely worth it. And another thing is, I was also doing dawah to my German friends, which I was meeting through couchsurfing basically. So it's like a nice opportunity for me to show them the beauty of Islam during Ramadan, because, you know, like we're much more lovelier, we're like much more giving, we're much more, you know, sharing everything. So like a real Islamic culture, you feel it in Ramadan, right? So it's the best time to show them like, this is us, guys. And like they appreciate the free food so much, because it's like for Germans, it's like shocking.
It's not just for Germans. It's
For,
like actually like for
Europeans
anyone,
and, like,
Westerns in
non-Muslims,
general, yeah. Because
True.
I will tell about my experience, but also like I had one girl with me. She's like non-Muslim, and then she was like, "You guys, so you all eat, you know, and distribute like food for free, like." People distribute food for free. That's it. You go every day. All these people are eating for free, and I'm like, yeah. That's Ramadan. It was so shocking for her, and it took her a while, you know, to grasp that. And like from the whole experience, she was like, That's so interesting. Now I know that how much Muslim are giving,
Yeah,
because basically I can count literally like maybe 300 person, and all of them are just eating for free. And
yeah,
meals, like not only meals, it's like rice, meat, with fruit, drinks, coffee, and sweet dessert
yeah.
afterwards. So it's a whole full meal.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's why it's the best time to, invite them and show them our culture and like teach them about Islam. So what I was doing is like I was approaching to them on kite surfing and I was like, oh, but it's Ramadan, so like I'm fasting, so we cannot go to a coffee shop. What shall we do? And then I offered them, hey, I'm actually like going to iftar for this mosque in this mosque. I was not inviting them to the Turkish mosque because it's like fully Turkish people. But in this African mosque that I was going, it was so multicultural. Even new Muslims, Muslim Germans, like Africans, it was so multicultural, which is like showing a different aspect of Islam, like what Islam is actually about, like equality and like it's not only for Arab people. So it's like a perfect perspective shifting environment for them. So I was like, hey, I'm actually going to this African mosque. So it can be like a nice experience for you. They're kite surfers, they're travelers. So it's like an amazing opportunity for them
Yeah.
to hang out with other nationalities in their hometown, in that small village. So yeah, I was like inviting them and we were having iftar together. And afterwards, I was telling them about like Ramadan and Islam. And yeah, so like they were enjoying their time so much there, and they were even joining the prayer with us, the Tarawih, some of it, not the whole of it. It's like it's too long. Yeah, so that's why it's so remarkable for me. And I'm still in touch with my friends since then.
Yeah, it's like mashallah. That's good
Yeah.
actually, because it's lucky. I mean, you are lucky to that you have lived, such an experience. But the thing is, like, what I'm curious about, and some people also, because I got asked that before, which is, didn't you hesitate at the beginning that, oh, I'm going to spend Ramadan away, and I don't feel good. Maybe I should go back to my country. Am I really doing this or not? Did you got like any of these like feelings, or let's say questions in your mind or anything like that?
Yeah, I was thinking like during Ramadan actually, when I go on Instagram and like see the stories of my friends in the best mosques in Istanbul, because we have like huge iftars and gardens of the mosques in Istanbul, and like the whole vibe of the city is changing basically. So I was seeing those stories and I was like, I miss it actually. So yeah, I think that's always like a part of the whole thing. But I was trying to focus on my own experience there, which was like a once in a lifetime thing. So I never regretted that. I never said like, oh, I wish I was in Istanbul right now. Yeah,
Because, yeah,
I have experienced in Istanbul like
that's the
25
thing.
years.
That's the
Like
thing, yeah.
it's okay to experience something else. And now after that experience, actually, I even became more curious to experience
Right,
Ramadan in
yeah,
other
yeah,
non-Muslim
true.
countries to see how it looks like for them. So now we want to go to Taiwan, inshallah, for example, and like maybe when we publish this, we are already going to be visiting Taiwan. Because
We're literally doing like podcast videos, in
it's talk, yeah.
in every country we visit.
Yeah. So I would like to see, for example, the Muslim community in Taiwan. I know that, they're like Chinese, Taiwanese Muslims, and they have like an active mosque. And I heard that Eid prayer there is something else. Like it's so nice with the community there. So I think like, yeah.
So somehow she convinced me that Taiwan, we have to go to visit Ramadan, visit Ramadan,
In Ramadan.
spend Ramadan in Taiwan. But still, it's not confirmed yet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're still
But the
checking.
thing is, I think it's important to note that we just don't go to non-Muslim countries and like while fasting, we don't lose time by hanging out.
Yeah.
We are just actually like discussing this in between as well, because Ramadan is such a time that it doesn't worth losing time, even a minute. For nothing, you just have to get the most out of it. It's like so valuable, and you don't know if you're going to catch the next Ramadan, right? So that's why, like, if we're going, we will make sure that we have the community. We will spend a lot of time in the mosque, maybe pray Tarawih there. Still, we don't miss the Ramadan and like we're thinking like, how can we have this Ramadan atmosphere even if we're in a non-Muslim country? So that's kind of a thing. We just don't go to a random non-Muslim country
Yeah,
and like
true.
lose the blessings of the Ramadan. This is not what we would want to do, basically.
Like, to be honest, if you ask me, I wouldn't choose to go to a non-Muslim country during Ramadan, which is something I did. And I don't think I will do it again. Not because it was kind of good experience, but I feel like still, even if you are surrounded like by Muslim community in that, I don't know, I still it's not the same as having Ramadan in a Muslim country.
Okay.
So
Actually,
yeah.
like our experiences have been quite different because Noor have been to Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
which is like it cannot be compared with Germany, you know, because Germany is like
Obviously.
full of like Muslim communities. Um, yeah. So
Yeah. So
tell us about your experience in Sri Lanka
like,
because like
tell us.
it's so brave, you know, to spend Ramadan there.
Yeah.
And I want to know before
Uh-huh.
you start,
Yeah.
what did you think?
What made you to
What made you go to Sri Lanka in
take this
Ramadan?
decision, right? Yeah. So
Or-
I was in Sri Lanka actually prior to Ramadan. I was there, and when I was booking my flight, I was like 2 weeks for Sri Lanka is like so short. And usually, for context also, because like in our first episode, we said like I said that I traveled 7 countries. Now it's 9, by the way.
It's increasing.
Yeah, that's number one. Number two, I never took like short trips. So all the countries that I stayed in, like minimum 1 month, you know, minimum 1 month. So some of them even more. So actually, when I go to a country, I like fully explore the country, and that's why I take forever. That's number one. Number two, when I was booking my flight to Sri Lanka, I was like, only 2 weeks and then Ramadan is approaching, you know, Ramadan will be there. So I was like, no, 2 weeks Sri Lanka, no, I don't want to, and stuff like that. And I wanted to go to Sri Lanka for a while, you know. So I was like, maybe I can add 1 more week, you know. I don't think it's gonna hurt that much because I'm just going to own my own business and just fast, you know, and that's it. I don't know why my mind thought in that moment that it's a suitable idea.
So here you thought like you're just gonna hang out like in usual,
Yeah.
but you're just going to be fasting.
Exactly.
Like hiking,
Yeah.
walking,
Yeah.
snorkeling, everything.
Yeah.
Including-
including everything, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to mind fast,
Yeah.
and mind my own business, meaning that because like I will have to break my fast and everything. So probably if I had like a company with me, like non-Muslims or anything like that, they don't have to accommodate, you know, to me and my limitations and stuff like that. You know, if I want to do hiking and then midway I don't feel it, I want to have the freedom to just go back, you know, or rest for how many hours I want. Anyway, so I thought like it's not gonna be a problem if I spend like 1 week only during Ramadan in Sri Lanka. And turns out that I was able to do hiking, I was able to go there stuff with my backpack, and I was seeing everywhere. I didn't feel thirsty or anything like that, you know.
You have like a huge tolerance to it because like Sri Lanka is like 55 degrees and like super humid. Oh my god!
I'm coming
it's just
for 40
hiking while fasting. Like why?
I'm coming from 45 degrees during summer in Tunis.
Gosh.
So that, like, for me, Sri Lanka was so chill. That's number one. Number two, I was hiking, and I remember I had like some friends with me, and they were like, Noor, we feel so bad for you. Please drink water. And I'm like, you guys, I'm fasting. And they were like, oh my God, how can you survive like this? And they were like so surprised because there is one place in Sri Lanka that literally you have to hike so you can go to that place. And they were like, whenever you want, you know, 5 minutes break, just tell us. Don't feel shy or anything like that, please, please. And they were hiding, you know, drinking water because it was so hot. Yeah. And they were like, oh my God, we're like so, you know, like.
And you don't have any Muslim companies there, right?
No, I couldn't have like a Muslim company.
Okay.
So back to the thing, I was able to do everything, but the problem was I didn't know when Ramadan will start. So literally, I was like, February is about to end. Not February, it was March, something like this. And I know for Ramadan, I think it should be 12, 13, something like this. I don't remember the dates. And I was like, I had no Muslim in Sri Lanka. I'm like, where am I going? How am I going to know if I have to fast tomorrow or not? And
did you check on Google or something?
I was checking on Google,
You
but it
can't
wasn't
find
showing.
anything?
Yeah, because basically, for context, like the majority are not Muslim in Sri Lanka. There is a community, but it's not like the majority of people or like the population. So you have to go and find and search for this like communities or neighborhoods in Sri Lanka so you can like contact
Yeah.
with them, you know. And I was like so stressed about it, and I was like, oh my god, such a stupid decision, what did I do to my life, you know, these kind of things. And I was so scared that they literally announced that in some my country and other countries that Ramadan is going to be after tomorrow, something like this. And I'm like, I don't know if tomorrow Ramadan or not.
And
Until
that's awful, like, because you can ruin your whole Ramadan,
obviously,
like, by starting
yeah.
in the wrong time. And you will end up having Eid in the wrong time, you know, or maybe not having it.
Like imagine I'm supposed to be fasting tomorrow and I'm eating, you know, and like I'm like, I don't know if tomorrow is gonna be Ramadan or not.
Yeah.
So until subhanallah something happened, which is basically I was walking in one touristy area, and then there is like these small sellers on the side of the road, and one of the guy, he had like a beard, and not only that, but he had like his girl, I think she was wearing hijab, and I was like, she must be Muslim, I'm sure. I ran away and I was like, hi, assalamu alaikum, you know, I'm so sorry, I'm a traveler. And I told him like the story of my life. I told him I don't want anything. I just want to know if tomorrow Ramadan or not. And then he was like, no, it's not tomorrow. It's like after tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, finally. And he said like, I said, is it confirmed? And he was like, no, it's not, but you can give me your WhatsApp. I will tell you, you know, when they announce about it. So imagine you guys,
Oh my
that was like the
gosh.
most stressful thing. And yeah, so add to that later on.
And wasn't there any language barrier, by the way?
No, I didn't felt
Okay.
like majority of people in Sri Lanka, they speak English.
Okay, that's good.
If not English, is broken Arabic basically, because a lot of them, they have been working in other countries, Arab countries, like Khaliji countries. So yeah, in the Gulf. That was challenge number one. Challenge number two was basically that I was crying so bad because I was alone, you know, somewhere in like random city in Sri Lanka. And I was like, I'm seeing my friends and everyone is like, oh, Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Kareem,
Yeah.
Ramadan Mubarak. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so alone, something like this. And I was like crying. And then I made like
And you're
dua.
staying in a hostel?
No,
during this time?
I took like a room by myself.
Ah, that's even worse. Like, even at the hostel, at least there are people around you.
Because basically I was like, it doesn't make sense if Ramadan and I'm staying in hostel and there is like alcohol and stuff like that, because like the hostel culture is kind of so
Yeah.
open in Sri Lanka.
Ah.
So yeah, that's
These kind of things, like, you know, when it's Ramadan, even if you're traveling, as a Muslim, I think we need to be conscious about
That's why.
these kind of things, just if we don't want to ruin the whole atmosphere of it and like lose the blessings of it. So
And-
it's actually smart when you think about it
Yeah.
to stay in your own place.
Yeah. Because also I was having a down moment, so I literally just wanted the whole bed by myself, and I'm just like laying there and I'm crying. You know, that's it. That's what I wanted. So that's the thing. Until like subhanallah, that night I was breaking my fast, you know, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad, something like this. I literally couldn't stop crying because I was like, what did I do to myself? This is so awful. Mind you, guys, like I have never had any Ramadan outside of my country, not even that, outside of my family.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing, you know. It was kind of like a slap in the face, like two slaps, not like one. So subhanallah, somehow I was searching in couch surfing, you know, if I can find any Muslim people, until someone messaged me, basically, some guy, to be honest, he messaged me, and it looks like from his name that he's Muslim. And then he was like, when are you going to visit my city, something like this? If you need any help, let me know. And I'm like, are you Muslim? And then he was like, yes. And I'm like, please take me out of this city, because I'm like in this city. And he was like, what are you doing there? Like, there is no Muslim community there. And I'm like, I don't know, I just came here to do hiking, you know. And then he was like, yeah, just go to this city. And he helped me basically to go somewhere else, where it was literally like I was surrounded by Muslim.
Okay.
I literally like found a place, a hotel also, like a guest room or a house just next to the mosque. So I was sleeping and I was waking up hearing the mosque, the Adhan, and I was like, oh my God, such a relief. You know, I felt like I'm so blessed in the moment, because I was like making dua about it a lot. Yeah. So that was like the first 3 days. It was really challenging in that sense.
Did you find mosques there? Like, did you go?
When he messaged me and he showed me basically where to find mosques, which
But did you go for
cities.
like Tarawih prayers?
Yeah. That's what I did.
And like, is it that no? Because in some countries, women don't go to mosques.
In Sri Lanka, they have that. I was
Women
so
go, or like
surprised.
they're not?
Women don't go.
Ah,
I literally one time wanted to go like to pray Asr, and then the guy he was like, "No women," and I'm like,
yeah, it can happen.
I literally made wudu in like male section,
Wallah.
Wallah. He was like, okay, wait here. And then he let all the men out, and I was doing wudu in their section. And then he took me like upstairs. He was like, this is upstairs, like small room, something like this. You can pray here. And then the beginning, I was like confused. But then they told me that women don't pray every day, like five prayers in the mosque, so that's why. But for Tarawih, they go.
Yeah, okay.
So
at
for
least you
Tarawih,
could
they
join
make
that.
section for them, yeah.
And did you like communicate with some people there?
I did. No, I just like stayed in touch with that guy and the guy that helped me, the man that helped me in the first day. I was also in touch with him and I was asking him where to go and everything. What happened afterwards, after 3 days, 4 days, I think so, I went to a whole different city. It's close to the airport. And I started asking, basically. I just started asking my hostel owner, the restaurant people, anyone that I see. I'm like, do you know any Muslims here? Is there any Muslim community here? Is there anything? I ended up in a hostel and I was like, do you know any Muslims here? And he was like, you know what? Actually, my neighbor is Muslim.
Lovely.
And I'm like, what neighbor? And he was like, just next door. And I'm like, oh my God, Alhamdulillah. So, and he called him and he was like, I have one girl, she's from Tunisia, she's Muslim and everything. And the guy, he was like, just come for Iftar, invite her for Iftar with us. He sent me his wife. That's the thing also. He didn't came to the hostel to take me to his house. He sent me his wife. So they will also kind of sensitive about mu'amalat. I don't know what's mu'amalat. We can translate that. Mu'amalat in general with me, behaviors, with me.
To open the parenthesis, this is like a huge whole family, right?
Yeah. It's a whole family. Yeah. Like it's like the man, and he has like his wife, his mom living with him, and then his 3 daughters. So basically, it was a whole kind of female family.
English?
Yeah, and they spoke English. The girls, one of them, she was speaking English fluently because she said like I went to British school, something like this. And the guy, because he was working in Qatar before, the man, I mean like the father, so that's why they know English fluently.
Let me ask you here, because this is the most common question that we get. How did you trust them? Because they came out of nowhere, basically.
The thing is, he trusted me in the first place.
Yeah.
While he
You're
doesn't
the foreigner,
know me.
right?
Yeah. I'm the foreigner. That's number one. Number two, like someone inviting you for iftar during Ramadan, they know that they have hasanat, they have good deeds because of that. Because, so he basically wanted to do good things. And all of these things, I was like, there is no way that this person is gonna harm me. That's number one. Number two, when I visited their house, if I felt like anything not good or awful or anything, obviously, I wouldn't go, obviously.
And I think maybe it's comforting to, know that it's like a big family.
Yeah, true.
So
obviously,
you know that they have kids. And,
yeah. Because I was asking also, like the hostel owner, I asked him like, is
and
your
you have,
neighbor
like, a
married?
reference, basically.
Yeah. Is he married? Does he have kids? Stuff like that. Yeah, and the cute thing, like that. So one night she was like, I went back to the hostel and then she was packing, stuff for me for suhoor. And then she was like, oh, since you're not going to stay with us for suhoor, just take these things to your place. And because I stayed in that hostel for like 3 days, she was sending me suhoor every night.
Oh, okay.
And she was calling me through WhatsApp. Do you have anything to eat? Something like this. Please don't feel shy. And because I don't eat heavy suhoor like them, because they eat rice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She thought like I'm shy. That's why I'm refusing to take a rice. And I'm like, no, I'm actually, we don't really eat rice that much in my country. That's why I'm not taking rice. But seriously, thank you so much. And jazakallah khairan,
I can hear that they're like so hospitable, actually.
Yeah, they were like,
wow.
Jazakumullahu khairan.
khairan.
Yeah. And they stayed in touch with me until I left Sri Lanka.
So why did you leave Sri Lanka?
So my trips ended basically. You said where?
Why and where and when?
That was basically the end of the week, which is 1 week in Ramadan. And when I was like, I'm so done with this, I'm going back to my comfort zone, which is my beautiful Malaysia. So I went to Malaysia, I went to KL, and oh my God, I was like so happy, so relieved in my just like my bubble comfort zone, something like this. And I was just hearing Adhan 24 hours, and also because in my country, I don't know if you have this or not here, like before Maghrib, they put Quran for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, something like this. They do it specifically
No, in
Ramadan.
Turkey they don't do it.
Okay.
Inside the mosque? Yeah.
No, like
they
outside.
do it, but no. I know in Arab countries they do that.
So basically, when they do that, it's a sign that breaking the fast is like so close, So we get like so excited in Tunis about that and everything, which is also in Malaysia they do that. So prior to the prayer time or breaking the fast time, you hear like these adhan and everything, and I was hearing it from my apartment like voice window. La ilaha illallah. I get so excited.
Ramadan is approaching and like your excitement level is like
because I'm going back to Malaysia again, so that's why. I was hearing it like from the window and everything, so it was kind of so amazing.
Refreshing, I'm
it
sure.
was so refreshing, like
because in Sri Lanka you don't hear
refreshing.
Adhan, right?
Yeah, unless you're just. I was hearing it in the last 3 days because I was next to the mosque, but still, even they don't make it that loud.
And I'm sure the mosques are not that huge. Not that big, like a local mosque.
Like a local mosque, yeah. There are mosques. People are so respectful as well, but it's still, for me personally, as a person coming from Arab country and 99% Muslims, it's different.
Okay.
It's different. There is like these small differences that you feel,
And
so
in Malaysia, like, what did you do?
The Malaysia Ramadan is amazing, and I met a lot of
I would love
tourists.
to experience that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was going to go there this Ramadan, but no sleep. Like maybe at the end of it, I'm not sure.
Inshallah, I hope
but
so.
But one day, if not this year, I would love to experience it.
Yeah, inshallah, I hope that.
So what makes it beautiful?
So the thing is that Malaysian in general are like so chill. They have a chill vibe. It's like a Muslim community. There's like a huge number, So basically, you feel like you are surrounded by Muslims, pretty much like in majority of places that you go to. Mosques are big. Not only that, they do like group iftars basically in all mosques, almost. So imagine like you don't feel alone. You don't get to feel alone because you don't break the fast alone. You go to the mosque. There is like a huge line for food, and they give you sit with people in like a long hall, and you're eating with your sisters and everything, and you're breaking the fast, and you see like everyone making dua, some people reading Quran before, breaking the fast, and everyone is like so ready. Some people, sometimes aunties, they bring the food and they distribute it to everyone. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like going back, to my bubble.
So did you feel home when you had
I felt
that
literally
after Sri
home.
Lanka?
Yeah, it was so refreshing, and it was. I was like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm used to. Let's say, and I met a lot of people that literally left their countries just to come to Malaysia and spend Ramadan there. Literally, like
non-Muslim countries.
No, I mean Muslims, but living in non-Muslims. I met people from UK. I met people from France, I met people from Germany. They are Arabs or like different nationalities, but like Muslims, and they came there just like to experience Ramadan because they said like it's amazing.
Wow.
It's something they couldn't get, enough of it in Malaysia.
Yeah. You don't realize that like we have such big blessings actually, in our home country, because I also know many neo Muslims or like Muslims who are living in European countries, like you said. They also come to Istanbul to experience Ramadan, for example, to live Ramadan. They stay whole month here. And for us, like, this is something normal, like being inside the Ramadan environment, atmosphere, when we lack it for a week, we just go crazy, you know, like we're like,
yeah.
oh my God, my Ramadan is wasted, something like
That's
that.
the thing.
But for them, that's like a huge gift from Allah, you know? So when we're inside the blessings, we don't really see the importance of it. So I think those, even with the good things and bad things, going to a non-Muslim country and experiencing it and seeing that, you know, there are people who have no idea about this actually. Seeing that is reminding us the importance of
That's the
Ramadan.
thing, yeah.
And secondly, we experiencing the community and like the importance of it, and realizing how big the ummah is and how warm it can make us feel, how much home it can make us
Yeah.
feel in.
Because basically,
yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm going to interrupt, like even to about Sri Lanka, if I didn't had like these three people of Muslims that helped me, probably like the experience is gonna be awful.
True.
More.
True.
It's
Imagine
now
you stuck in your room for like the whole week.
Yeah.
It would
And like
be
the thing
awful.
is, I don't even know if is it time to break the fast or not.
Yeah.
Because I didn't also know where to go, you know, where I can find mosques and everything. I was like literally searching Google Maps, you know, and stuff like that. And when I met people from this ummah, from this Muslim community, they hugged me and they were like so happy to help me without me even like asking for help that much, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So yeah,
Alhamdulillah. I'm happy that Allah helped you like
Yeah.
this. So basically, another thing maybe we can come to as a conclusion is that you searching about these things, like trying to find a prayer time, trying to find a mosque, like all of these things, as you spend your energy on this stuff, you don't have an energy to focus on the blessings of Ramadan, like read Quran, you know, like focus on Ramadan, improve your spirituality, focus on it, you know, do zikr. You don't have mental space for that, you know.
Obviously,
The
yeah.
only time that you can be emotional is like crying because you're lonely and like you're struggling,
yeah.
not because of your love of Allah, or like, you know, because you're, you know, doing tawbah or something like
Yeah.
that, because you don't have a mental space for that. So
And that's the thing. I felt like I wasted the whole week of Ramadan actually.
Yeah.
When I go back to Malaysia, I was like my friend, oh, let's go Iftar, let's go meet, stuff like that. And I'm like, you guys forget about me until Ramadan finished. I don't want to see anyone's faces, you know? It's like I just want to spend time in the mosque, and I just want to spend the time either in the mosque like I'm praying, or like in my house, you know, doing dhikr or whatever.
yeah.
Also, I was working also because I had like my work. But I was like, I don't want any enjoyment anymore.
And
So,
there's
yeah.
no way back. Like Ramadan
Yeah.
is so special that once it's gone, you know, it's just so hard to, you know, replace it. You cannot replace that 1 week in another month.
Yeah.
There's no chance. So
Yeah.
that's why it's like so important.
So people, you guys don't misunderstand me. I don't mean that I regret Ramadan in Sri Lanka or it was
It's teaching
bad
a lot,
or
I
anything.
think.
Yeah,
That's why.
it was an experience, and an experience with memories. Right now, I
Yeah.
look at it in with memories,
So
and I'm
now,
like, feel so lucky.
when you plan
yeah.
your Ramadan, you plan it considering this experience, basically.
Exactly.
But this is what I'm exactly talking about. Like, because we are inside these blessings, we don't see them. But when you take a step out of it, you're like in Sri Lanka and realizing, oh my God, Ramadan could actually look like this, but I had no idea, you know? So you come to this awareness, you realize it only if you take a step back, you know, or only if you go out of it a little bit. And then now you wouldn't do it again, maybe in the same way.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about, yeah, we may go to Taiwan, but we know that it's going to be completely different. And we were even talking like, I just don't want to spend my whole day fasting
Yeah.
going to Buddhist temples.
Yeah.
It feels like so wrong, you know?
Also, because for context, she has her friend, which is Muslim, and she's
Yeah.
already in touch with Muslim community and everything. Otherwise, I will be like, Beza, I'm not going anywhere,
I
you know,
wouldn't
just go
be
alone.
thinking about it as well, because
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that there are people who are going to deal with all of these things they already dealt. They already, you know the prayer times, know when Ramadan is,
Yeah.
know when Eid is, know where to pray, know what to eat. So I won't be thinking about this. So I can focus on my own Ramadan and like, you know, focus on my zikr, prayers, tawbah, everything. If not, no, I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that during Ramadan. I'm so fully okay with staying in Istanbul, you know, in the, you know, beautiful mosques.
Or Muslim country.
or another Muslim country. I would love to go, for example, to Qahira. I know that they have like a really nice atmosphere. Maybe in Syria.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that
inshallah.
it's also very beautiful there. So yeah, and of course in Umrah, it's
Yeah.
the top, you know, the best place to spend your Ramadan. Inshallah,
Inshallah.
we will be talking about it in detail in another
Inshallah.
episodes.
Inshallah.
And you said that you met with really nice people
Yeah.
during the iftar events, I think. Can you tell us some occasions?
True. So basically, because everyone was, we were sitting all together, different nationalities, Malaysian and non-Malaysian, like different ages, you know, like I saw even families, they literally come from their houses to make iftar to the in the house, in the mosque.
Okay.
That's how they are tied to it, you know. It's not
Wow.
just because they don't have money, they are eating from
It's
the
like a
mosque.
culture,
It's like a
basically.
culture, literally, like that. So I met a lot of people, and also I was able to make non-Muslims get the experience, basically.
Where did you meet them?
So I had like one girl that I know. We met in the hostel, basically, and she's Dutch and Chinese at the same time, which is always like a little bit interesting
I have
combination.
a same friend, by the way. She's German,
No,
Chinese.
not German Chinese.
But
Dutch,
she was living
Dutch,
in the
I mean like
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
I know, but she was living in
okay.
Netherlands. I don't know. That's very interesting. Yeah. Anyways.
I don't think she's like the same person. You guys, like this happened to me a lot. You know, the words is like so small.
What's her name?
Maybe she doesn't want to be in the video. I can tell you later.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so she was really interested about this because she spent a lot of time in Egypt and she has like few Arab friends, and she was like, I have never saw Ramadan before, so can I go with you to the mosque if I can see what are you guys doing by breaking the fast? And I took her to the mosque, and she was like surprised by the amount of people, and we were like taking lines, and then she was like, oh, so, which is like I said earlier, I'm talking about the same person in the beginning of the episode. She was like so surprised. All these people are basically eating for free. We're not going to pay anything. And I'm like, no, just if you want 2 plates, also you can take 2 plates, no problem. And they have different type of juice. And she was like, interesting, you guys are so spoiled, you know, you have like different type of juice, tea, coffee, and stuff like that. And she was like seeing, and she was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm so blessed right now because I get like to try this and get like through this experience. And I wanted to stay. I was like staying for Maghrib. Obviously she cannot pray, but she was hearing like the imam, you know, reciting Quran and everything during the prayers. And in Malaysia, like Maghrib and Isha is basically close to each other, so I stay in the mosque to get to Isha. And she was like, I thought she would be bored by this time and she will leave, but she was like, she put a chair next to the prayer hall, and then she was there, you know, listening the whole time. We finished Isha, we we started Taraweeh, you know, we already 10 raka'at Taraweeh, and she's still there. And I'm like, interesting. And then she was like, you don't understand how valuable is this, you know, moment, and how grateful I feel like because I got to see, you know, this culture and this religion, and how are you guys navigating and living. And she started texting me, oh, are you going to the mosque to break the fast? I want to go with you. And we started going like to random mosques in KL. We're changing mosques because obviously like KL has a lot of mosques and a lot of food, different food as well. So we were kind of exploring mosque/food. So yeah, it was so interesting. And then she was telling her friends as well. She was sending them videos, look, and she was telling her mom and everything. And
advertising as
well.
well.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like Alhamdulillah because she was so impressed by what she was seeing, and I was able to show her that.
Yeah.
And also Malaysia gave her that space because when she was entering the mosque also with me, like no one talked to her. She was obviously covering her hair, but still.
They're accepting
Exactly.
even, like Muslim, non-Muslim.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like all ethnicities.
And at some point, some girls, Malaysian girls, like approached us and they started talking, you know, with us and everything. So Malaysian are the best. So yeah, through that also, like these things can turn also your Ramadan experience in a cute way, like in a different way.
Exactly, because you carry like a purpose, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like same for you. You were inviting your
Yeah.
non-Muslims, German, to do da'wah to them and like make them explore this. It was kind of like I was kind of like in the same position.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like,
that's also a blessing of Allah, you know.
Exactly.
That we got the opportunity to, introduce them to Islam.
Yeah.
And this is like, I also feel like this is a duty for us. There is a reason why we are in the place that we are in at that moment. In this moment, there is a reason why we are here.
Yeah, true.
And there is a reason why we are around those people. So it's like on our shoulders to teach them about Islam, deliver the message of Islam.
True.
So Ramadan is like the perfect time for this, basically.
True, yeah.
Because we can just kind of tell them about the culture at the same time. It's not about only like just sit down and like let's talk about Islam, but it's like let's eat together, let's have fun together. You can even join the prayer if you like. You can see the Muslim culture. You can meet Muslims. It's like an amazing opportunity, you know.
Yeah.
So and it's only once in a month. So like don't miss this chance.
And it was the perfect time, as you said at the beginning of the episode. It was the perfect time to show her the things because everyone is like united, all together, one ummah, and we all doing the same thing, and we have like the same purpose at the same place.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
Also, one of the people that I have invited, it was in Istanbul. We also do like a similar thing here at Süleymaniye Mosque. One of the guests, she said like, people pay for this kind of events and like this kind of activities because like you basically give them food, you tell them like, introduction to Islam, you give them a lot of information, you drink tea together, we eat baklava together, we chit chat about Turkish culture, something like this. And she's like, this is like a whole package, like event that you can find on Klook or something.
Obviously,
for free,
networking events, you pay for that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, let's get the most out of it. And we don't know who is going to accept the message at the end of the day, but it's our responsibility to just deliver it, inshallah.
So to conclude, Veza, do you think like you have anything to add like to the episode or like anything you wanted to talk about basically about
so
this?
I think
like everything?
We have covered our experiences in non-Muslim countries, but overall when we look at it, I think like as far as you have your community, it doesn't really matter where you are because Islam is not a religion that you can live on your own. You cannot survive alone as a Muslim. It's not possible. So you always have to have people around you. It's not only going to make you sad, but it will affect your spirituality and your connection with Allah, because the reason why we have this ukhuwah, like this sisterhood, brotherhood, is to make us closer to Allah. It's not only like beneficial thing, So when we lack it, it's affecting our connection with Allah. When we have it, it's getting us closer to Allah if we are with righteous people around us. So that's why I think that's the main conclusion that we came to through our experiences, basically.
True.
Yeah, and
I think also that that's also applicable because right now we're talking about Ramadan, but that's also applicable to traveling in general because me and you like we're traveling, which is that basically the experience itself of traveling can be gets easier, way easier if you're like surrounded by your community and your Muslim follows.
Exactly, because you don't do all of this research and everything on your own. Maybe your friend helps you, maybe they have information before you, maybe you forget something they remind you of.
And they can also protect you also.
True.
Protect you from the outside, which is probably you don't want to get involved in it, like whatever, what is it? Things that we're not supposed to get involved with as a Muslim. So being with someone, it's kind of like it will be like a shield for you. So because you won't be like in certain position or like certain situations.
Exactly.
So
yeah. All right. So
that was a little bit about like our Ramadan experience.
And we're so excited for the upcoming Ramadan.
Inshallah.
Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. Let's keep praying this and let's see how this Ramadan is going to look like. I'm so excited for it.
We will share with you guys.
Yeah.
If we went to Taiwan or if we didn't, still like I will be in Malaysia. She will probably be in Istanbul.
Yeah. And you can show us how it looks like in Malaysia. Maybe you do some vlogs.
That's nice.
That would be perfect, actually.
Yeah, that's
I'm also
really
curious
good.
about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening today. And we hope to talk about, what are we going to talk about next episode?
I'm making the
Umrah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
I hinted a little bit about it. I said that Ramadan Umrah is the best. Yeah, so inshallah we will
Inshallah we
dive
can
deep
be
about
able
it.
to publish it soon.
Yeah.
Inshallah. See you soon, inshallah, in
Yeah.
next video. And
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Was it good?
It was good.
Okay.